So you got your House of Blues shirt on.
House of Blues from New Orleans.
So the Bronx was the House of Blues this weekend. No, you tell
no
me.
Good. No good. You can't drop 2 or 3 in your home opener against the Jays. Although their bats were silent, as they say.
Well, it's not that you lost 2 or 3 to an upstart Jays team. Look, it's the way you lost. And,
I like that. I like that.
And I think the House of Blues, which was Yankee Stadium, could be the House of Pain. Jump around, jump. So House of Pain.
I love that song. Listen,
I hate that song. I hate that song.
You wonder if the Oriole game tonight is a must-win for the Yankees this early on. Just throwing it out there.
Well. Here's what I find interesting about the impatience around the Yankees sometimes, because as Met fans, we don't need to win now, even though we happen to be built to win now. Great opening day today for the Metropolitans, to a beautiful spring day, kind of like you wished it had been for your Yanks last Thursday. But anyway, it's suddenly this is a team. What I'm hearing about the lineup, all or nothing.
Yeah, all or nothing lineup. Yeah,
you can't scratch them out
before. No, listen, but yes. The good news is, though, that Gary Sanchez is off to a decent start. I think it's important for him to sort of get off to that kind of start. With that said, Giancarlo, your favorite Yankee, is 0 for the month of April, and that might actually last for a while.
All right, so yeah, and I think he will be, and I'm not holding my breath on Giancarlo. He's kind of like a broken SPAC. So who's more important to this Yankee season? A rejuvenated Sanchez,
right,
or a healthy Aaron Judge? You notice I'm not even asking. I'm saying nothing more than those descriptives. I'm not saying MVP. Yeah. I'm just saying healthy Aaron Judge, rejuvenated Sanchez.
I like what you did there. I see. Yeah. I think I think they've come to accept the fact that Aaron Judge is probably max a 115 to 120 game type of guy. That's just
hold on a second. This is a strapping young man. This is a man who's chiseled out of granite.
Yeah.
And you're telling me he can only get on the field 115 or 120 games.
That's what it appears to me. When certain guys the guys that are built like Ferraris, any little thing that goes wrong, they're on the shelf. It's the guys like Gary Sanchez who are just, sort of put together, not that impressive a physique. Those are the guys that give you the innings. Like those are the guys that don't seem to break down. So the answer to your question, I think we've come to the realization that, Aaron Judge is your 115, 120 guy and will win, lose regardless. And a rejuvenated Gary Sanchez could be the difference between getting out of the ACL, American League Championship Series, or not.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you what, I think it actually is a rejuvenated Gary Sanchez, because I just think that the expectations there, you forgot that this was one of the most dangerous hitters in the game a couple of years ago. And that gets me to the market because, what's more important, the fact that on a day after a trading day after that payroll number before Easter, where you just, you saw that the economy is opening up. I don't care, what you say about another wave on COVID, this and that. It's clear that the labor market's waking back up again. And a rejuvenated mega cap tech sector or FAANG stock versus just a healthy industrial sector. If you see where I'm going here, because like on the industrial side, these are big, mighty old companies, but really on some level, the whole story there is that banks are healthy again, that GM is healthy again, and that you've got a FedEx who's gotten through their woes. And so, but right now, for the market to get to that next level, frankly, I think it's the rejuvenated tech sector. Look at the move in Google. Google is trading like it's Zoom. Google's up 4% today, and the story around Google between I think just their core business, their core ad business, obviously YouTube, and then some of their other pieces are really extraordinary. So again, I think on a day when markets are breaking out and suddenly we are looking way rearview mirror on even 4,000 on the S&P, I see the S&P taking their lead from Gary Sanchez right now. Yeah,
I like
did
what
it.
you did there. No, listen, and Google, listen, I think people come to the realization that out of all the stocks in the FAANG, Google's the cheapest one and probably has the most upside. I think Facebook, we've talked about it countless times, Sal. I think we both hate Facebook for a myriad of reasons, but in terms of the stock, I mean, you got to just love what they do. And their quarters are spectacular quarter after quarter. And as we get towards the end of April, when they do report, I think the market's coming to the realization we better get in front of this now. I'll say this quickly, you know, the one that's not participating, although it probably will, is Amazon. That's probably still off 8% or so since that September all-time high, which is, I think, something to note, but I don't think I'm all that concerned right now. But, you know, Facebook, even with the data breach over the weekend, shrugs it off, and here we are north of 310 or so. It's remarkable.
Yeah, you know, Amazon reminds me a little bit of that Yankee bullpen because again, what was once a strength,
right? Look at you. I like what you did there.
Is trying to find itself. And there were so many ways they could beat you. And I think on some level, Amazon too, and they're executing in e-commerce, you know, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 at the front of the line, and yet they're not getting it done. Look, I'd like to see your Yankee bullpen get it done. I'm not sure that's even the problem right now. And look, when I say all rise, guy, I mean, it's a, you know, don't let those birds, and those are my birds, you know, be your birds of prey.
But I'll be tuned in. I mean, I'll be in the WOR tonight watching the Mets in Philadelphia. I can't wait. The Grominator.
Well, look, as the great Ralph Kiner once said, what did he say? You know, I don't have a great Ralph Kiner quote.
That's all right.
You say
but I hear what you're saying.
You say WOR. I mean, I think of the sport coats of Ralph Kiner, Bob Murphy, and Lindsey Nelson.
Sure.
And it is one of the great booths in the history of the game. By the way, the Mets may not have won anything for the last 45 or 50 years, but we've had the best booth in the game, and we will continue to dominate the booth, guy.
I you know what? Enjoy that. That's a great feather in your cap. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
See you at the House of Blues.